And this hurts, man. When you win a playoff game and then you got to suffer the consequences of injuries, Nakobe Dean's injury is bad. It's not good, and it really bleeds into the 2025 season. We have a lot to discuss. Dan Orlovsky's tape on obviously what the real problem with the Eagles' passing game is. Bryce Huff only played one snap in this game, and Nolan Smith actually broke some Eagles postseason records. So we have a lot to discuss here. Might be a long one. Try not to make it that way, but here we go.
A killer buried, but not dead.
Darren, we better turn around. Because I've seen enough horror movies to know any weirdo wearing a mask is never friendly.
Yo, what is going on, guys? I hope everyone's having a fantastic day. I hope everyone is enjoying their work week, and we just wait for the divisional round and ready to go, okay? But a lot to discuss here. This video is sponsored by BetUS, so please check them out if you haven't. So we got the news, and obviously the lingering news of Nakobe Dean, after he was seen, I guess, behind the scenes in a walking boot and crutches. It looks like that Nakobe Dean will be out the rest of the playoffs with a torn patellar tendon. This is a 9 to 10 month injury, guys. I mean, he might not even start the regular season next season. Okay, when you're out that long, you missed a whole off-season program, and then you come back during the season off a big injury. He won't be the same. It's going to take him a while, even if he comes back during the regular season, to kind of feel like himself again, missing so much time. And it takes a lot mentally on a player. This is the worst news we could have had, man. Winning a playoff game and just, injuries happen. It's part of the game. I get that. But to a young player, and finally, like Nakobe Dean was having his year, and, the past 3 years in Philadelphia, counting this year, he hasn't been healthy, unfortunately. Obviously the offseason program, he didn't look great. And, Devin White was supposed to be the starter, and they got rid of Devin White, and they said, you know what, Nakobe Dean's fully healthy. We have to give him a shot. And the way he was produced by the linebacker coach, Bobby King, and what Fangio has done with him and how he has just produced him has been off the charts as one of the best linebackers this season. Okay, and the Eagles have two really good ones. I don't know what you do. I think this gives you more an incentive now. If this bleeds into next year, I think you got to sign Zach Baun. I mean, I think it's the incentive is there that you got to re-sign Zach Baun. I mean, there's no way that now you're not going to have Nakobe Dean through the offseason program into the regular season, okay, and then you let Zach Baun walk. And then literally Ben Van Simmeren's coming off of a serious injury as well. I mean, you're pretty hurt at linebacker right now going into next year. Okay. I don't know what you do. I'm hearing rumors that the linebackers are, coming out of this draft, they're pretty good. I don't even know if I even go down that route. I think they give Jeremiah Trotter Jr. an opportunity. This past offseason, I think they obviously add more bodies at linebacker because there's guys coming off of injuries now, okay, going into next year. But you can't let Zach Baun walk. I mean, they let that happen. You're just hitting the reset button, and then you're going to have yet again a weakness at linebacker. Make it make sense that this man needs to be signed to whatever number he asks for, and the Eagles just get it done. He wants to stay. The Eagles want to keep him. The fans love him, and he's played at such a high level. The Eagles can't skip on another opportunity at linebacker again, okay? For the playoffs in general, you have Oren Burks that, he's missed some tackles at inside linebacker. His coverage is kind of suspect at times, but he plays physical, and, maybe he'll be fine for the rest of the playoffs. Obviously, the defense is going to take a hit. I think they'll be okay. But this is a big injury here. It really sucks, man. The only good thing about this is that, Dean has one more year left. He might be very cost effective because he really hasn't been healthy the 3 years he's been in Philadelphia. Okay. He was hurt this past off season, okay? And, this is a big injury right here after being healthy for a while. He had the abdomen injury for a couple weeks. He's been hurt like 3 times this season, okay? So the only positive thing you take out of this situation, like I said, is that he might be at a cheaper cost to stay in Philadelphia long term or something like that. To stay with the rest of the guys. And, Fangio will be here and we won't have any of those problems. But decisions are going to have to get made after this season at linebacker. I don't believe the Eagles will draft a linebacker early. It's just, at this point, I don't think it's going to happen. This is really going to be up to Vic Fangio. And since he has so much control over every layer of this defense and all of his players, do the Eagles go into the rest of these playoff games with Jeremiah Trotter Jr., or, do they go in here with Oren Burks, the veteran? I think both. I think Burks has played well. Obviously, the special teams, he's been fantastic, what he did against the Packers on the opening kickoff. But Trotter Jr. really hasn't had an opportunity. I don't really have an analysis on him because he hasn't played enough. But this one hurts entirely, man. For a guy that just can't get out of his own way with injuries, and for this to happen, it really sucks. Losing Graham really sucked, and this one really sucks entirely. So when you win a playoff game and then you hear news like this, man, it really puts you down. It really did put me down. It made me a little emotional because I've been rooting for this guy. Obviously I didn't know the season he was going to have. And I eat my words on that. I eat crow on it because trust me, with a lot of players, I didn't know what was going to happen, but he really showed up. And this is a big blow here, not only for this year, but for next year. And, this sucks entirely. And, we got to figure it out. So, the season's not over. We have a lot going on in the divisional round next week, and he'll be there to support his teammates. Dean went on his IG and said, I'm gonna be back better than ever. God got me, but for right now, job not finished. We got more business to handle. #GoBirds. So and I know Nolan Smith was really upset over it. Really upset. Had some things to say about it as well. So if this doesn't make sense to pay your best linebacker, you better lock him up. You better do it. Because if that doesn't happen, man, then you're really going to be behind the 8 ball, and the process is going to start all over again, once again. So that's the news on that. And, hopefully, he gets better as fast as possible. Now, Dan Orlovsky was putting up some tape on the Philadelphia Eagles, and there's some things that we have to discuss here. Now, we talked about these offensive struggles in the Packers game. They didn't use middle of the field. It just really lacked. We didn't know if it was a mixture of Hurts being rusty because he's missing 3.5 weeks. I don't have these extra programs you could download to watch this tape, watch the whole entire field and stuff like that, where the routes are going, route combinations, play design, things like that. But Orlovsky was going over a lot of plays, and it just seemed like Packers did a really good job on us defensively. I mean, there was nobody open. There was really nobody open in this game. He showed a lot of plays where, is it on the receivers? I don't know. Is it play design? I would have to think so, because this offense looked like what it looked like pre-bye week. It was just so vanilla. It was bland. There was no creativity. There wasn't guys going across field, doing fake pick plays for guys to get open like they did earlier in the season. It just looked so off in this game. So the Packers not having Jair Alexander, I would have thought it would have been a little bit better going into this game with the big injury they had at cornerback. But the Packers did a pretty good job at us. But Hurts is holding on to the ball for this long because there's nobody open, obviously. And what I notice every time I see like him going over a play, and because like when you're watching on national television, you don't see the whole entire, you don't see all the route combinations every play. You just see Hurts sitting there. And you're like, okay, well, what's going on here? I mean, what's going on? No check downs, no slants. Did they even run a slant in this game one time? Like that's just really questionable this late. I mean, you're in a playoff game and like, you know what I mean? Like, I mean, is it on the receivers? I mean, probably not. It's probably just on play design. And I'm sorry, but it didn't look like a Kellen Moore-esque offense the other night. A couple nights ago, it really didn't look like that at all. So, I'm really questioning this coaching staff in the playoffs right now. I mean, right now, I think they'll play better next week. They should be able to. This should be fixed 100%. And the Packers played it great. But some of the plays that just didn't make sense to me on certain downs and running Saquon on 3rd and 12 instead of 2nd and 12 and, 3 passes in a row. And I mean, just weird things. I don't know. No, I mean, the only time they really threw the short passing game was the couple of passes to Devontae Smith on the outside that got him a first down and like 9-10 yards on another one. And that's when Goddard had that big play with the stiff arm play going down the left sideline. I mean, that was like the only time they really threw it short, but I know Hurts missed a couple guys in this game, but theoretically, I mean, there was just nothing there. And this coaching staff needs to put this quarterback in a better position to win football games. So all these weapons, there's no excuse for this. And the Packers, like I said, played it well. So maybe it wasn't rust. Maybe it was really just what these coaches have just got to do better. Simple as that. And that's all I really got to say about that. So he showed a lot today, and I kind of watched the whole thing, and I was like, man, there really wasn't anybody open during this game. No wonder Hurts has nowhere to go with the football. Should they have ran the ball probably a little bit more? Probably. I think, like I said, it's a coaching situation, and they gotta tighten up here. I mean, come on now. I mean, you're going to the divisional round now. Like, you can't look like this going to a Super Bowl. I'll tell you that much. But they gotta be a little bit better there. I think we could all agree on that to an extent. Okay, guys. But we'll see what happens with that. Now, another thing that I thought was really interesting, Nolan Smith, okay? Now, he actually broke some records, interesting enough. He had 2 sacks, 2 tackles for loss. He was so physical, so good. I mean, when he took that guard out, I mean, the physicality he had on the edge when he was lined up pretty wide, and just like his athletic ability, but his physicality is just, it's gotten so much better every single week, where there's tackles or there's guards that are twice his size. He took a Pro Bowl guard out of the game. Okay. Now, with Nolan Smith, okay, he led all edge rushers in playing time, only missing 8 snaps. He had the most snaps I think he's had all season. Okay, he became the youngest player in franchise history to log in multiple sack performance at a playoff game. Eagles history. It's crazy. 88% of the snaps, 58 snaps for Nolan Smith in this game. This guy has come along. I'm just, it's crazy. I think if you count the regular season to the playoffs, it's like 8.5 sacks on the year. I mean, that's crazy. Just getting better, you want Jalen Carter to get some help on the edge. I mean, Jalen Carter did a pretty good job on obviously getting pressure, and really getting to Jordan Love and just getting in his face and trying to just disrupt everything. But to have a little bit of help on the edge like this with Nolan Smith, it just looks just better and better every single week, and he's just been outstanding, man. It's really been worth it to see him actually produce and see him actually. They put him in a good position here. So he was fantastic. Now, lastly, Bryce Huff, first game back. Okay, he only had one snap. One- I saw the snap count and I wanted to look, and Huff had one snap, 2% of the snaps. I mean, is this correct? Because I thought I saw him more than that. Maybe I didn't. I have no idea. I think Fangio figured, you know what? Well, Jalen Carter's playing all the snaps. Josh Sweat's playing almost all the snaps. And Nolan Smith literally had his highest game in snaps pretty much, only missing 8 snaps. Okay. Jalix Hunt was pretty quiet at times. And, Bryce Huff, this is another, he needs to do more. I think Bryce Huff needs to do more. He's not earning his snaps, which means he's not playing well. If he's not even getting more than a snap, that's really bad. And obviously, if Fangio is obviously going to give more attention now to Nolan Smith, since look what he's doing in the playoffs right now with the rest of these guys. You know what I mean? There might not be so much. It might be back to a 3-man rotation at this point if Bryce Huff is not going to get more opportunities. $17 million a year, and he's not even putting in fucking 10, 15% for us. So I don't know if they did this because he's not earning it. Maybe a bad week of practice, and he just doesn't seem like he's wearing a club on one hand, so he can't even grab people with 2 hands at this point with the minor wrist surgery that he had. So that's where we are with him right now. I thought, he would have showed up a little bit, and I guess he just barely played, period. And I don't blame Fangio for keeping Nolan Smith having more snaps in this game. Josh Sweat, Jalix Hunt, I don't know how many snaps he had in this game. But that's where we're at with Bryce Huff. So I want to kind of give you guys an update on what did Bryce Huff do? Because I looked at his stats the other night, without looking at the snap count when it came out. He didn't have a tackle, he didn't have nothing in this game. So I was like, okay, he just did nothing. But I guess he wasn't even in the game, and he wasn't even playing, period, at all. So that's where we're at with that situation. But other than that, guys, that's pretty much it. How do you feel about the Nakobe Dean situation going forward? It's heartbreaking, bro. It is heartbreaking. Do you think that there's more of incentive now to re-sign Zach Bond with Dean now being out 9 to 10 months? We're hoping it's a little bit less than that. But we'll see where it goes. And let me know what you guys think. What's wrong with the Eagles offense? Is it more play design? Is it a little bit of rust in play design? And, what do they really need to do to change it? Okay. You guys let me know in the comment section below. Appreciate everybody checking out the videos and supporting as usual. Make sure you like the video and obviously subscribe if you guys have it, because it helps out so much. And I appreciate it from everybody. We gotta keep it rolling. We have a big game next week, and we'll find out who we're playing. Obviously, by the time you watch this, we already know who we're playing. But we'll see what happens. But you guys have a fantastic day. Nakobe Dean, get well soon, brother. And we'll be back soon with another one. You guys enjoy the rest of your day. Shakes, what up, follow slide. Peace out, guys. Peace.